There were strikes last night in Russia as well. Good drones hit a Russian oil refinery in Volgograd, and this isn't the first time. A government building in Belgorod was also struck. This was reported by the local authorities. In the middle of the night, flames engulfed the Lukoil Volgograd oil refinery, where explosions had previously occurred, resulting in a fuel leak, as confirmed by the regional governor. This refinery is the largest producer of petroleum products in Russia's southern federal district. Its capacity is about 15 million tons. That's why good drones have attacked the facility 5 times in the past 2 years, and twice just this week. However, these successful assaults on Russian military-industrial facilities and oil pipelines, in particular, have already drawn criticism from Hungary. The local foreign minister expressed his outrage on his Facebook page and distanced himself from the war in Ukraine.
We strongly and unequivocally urge Ukraine not to endanger Hungary's vital energy supply and to immediately stop attacking the crucial routes that deliver essential energy resources to Hungary in a war with which we genuinely have absolutely nothing to do.
The governor of Belgorod region also complained about another loud night and morning. There were strikes in the regional center. Footage has appeared online showing smoke and fire engulfing the streets of Belgorod. The Russians report that a downed drone fell in the middle of the roadway, causing a car to catch fire and burn out completely. 3 people are known to have been injured, according to Governor Vyacheslav Gladkov. On his Telegram channel, he showed damage to the facade and windows of a government building. This is likely the result of Russian air defense activity. He has already managed to post a selfie video where he urged Russians to be careful and to follow his social media accounts.
I was walking on foot at the time. At that moment, the regional government building was hit. There is minor damage. We will handle the situation. The most important thing is to be careful and remember that unfortunately, the current operational situation leaves much to be desired. Let's pay attention to alert signals and subscribe to the Telegram channel.
Are you following the work of the good drones in Russia? Be sure to write about it in the comments to this broadcast on YouTube. And of course, like the video and subscribe to the channel. In the meantime, I continue with the TSN broadcast.
Attack on the Druzhba oil pipeline. The largest hub of the Russian mainline network, the Anneka station in the Bryansk region, was hit by drones. Videos of the Druzhba pipeline burning appeared on Telegram channels, but so far without any details. Drones also struck 2 oil refineries in the aggressor countries. Hits were recorded in the Volgograd and Krasnodar regions of Russia. The aggressor country's air defense unsuccessfully shot down one of the drones. The debris fell on a residential building in Volgograd. However, there were no injuries there. Due to the attack, the local airport was temporarily closed. In total, Russian authorities report shooting down up to 50 drones. Since the beginning of the week, Ukrainian drones have carried out a series of successful strikes on Russia's military-industrial facilities. In particular, yesterday they struck helium production plants in Orenburg and the monocrystal plant in Stavropol Krai, which manufactures sapphires for optical and laser systems used in military equipment. And on Monday, a strike hit a Shahid storage facility in Tatarstan and the Arzamas instrument building plant, which, among other things, produces components for Russian Kh-32 and Kh-101 missiles.
The Russians are entering Pokrovsk and changing into civilian clothes. Soldiers from the 25th Airborne Brigade, who are defending Pokrovsk, told Telegraph about the tactics used by Russian sabotage groups to infiltrate. On one of the Russian soldiers' phones, they found a map with marked routes and roads used by Russian saboteurs to enter the city. A Ukrainian assault group set out to block their path. As they advanced along the route, Ukrainian soldiers found Russian uniforms in abandoned houses. The enemy infantry disguised themselves as civilians. In one of the houses, our soldiers engaged in combat with a group of Russian saboteurs. They were eliminated by throwing grenades into the basement where they were hiding. Sabotage and reconnaissance groups are trying to break through defensive positions near Dobropilya in the Donetsk region. Their goal is to cut off Pokrovsk and Kramatorsk, another vital stronghold of Donbass that is controlled by Ukraine. According to the deputy commander of the 25th Airborne Brigade, there are already about 500,000 Russians in Pokrovsk. They intimidate the locals and force them not to help the armed forces of Ukraine. The saboteurs began infiltrating the city on July 18th when bad weather prevented Ukrainian scouts from monitoring the approaches to the city with drones. Then the saboteurs moved in groups of 3 or 4, occupying abandoned houses and putting on civilian clothes. Here is one of the Russian soldiers wearing a Yuka Poshta t-shirt. Also, in the past 2 days, 151 occupiers have been eliminated and more than 70 wounded. 8 Russian servicemen have been taken prisoner. This was reported by the Azov First Corps. Pilots from Dovbush's Shersty unit showed how they are destroying Russian logistics in the Pokrovsk direction. And regarding enemy losses over the past day, the General Staff has updated its data. So we have minus 990 invaders, 5 tanks, 3 armored vehicles, and 29 artillery systems. In total, since the beginning of the full-scale invasion of Ukraine, our forces have neutralized 1,067,100 Russian soldiers, destroyed 31,458 enemy artillery systems, nearly 1,500 multiple rocket launcher systems, and 1,207 air defense systems, 51,043 tactical level drones, and 3,558 cruise missiles have been neutralized. To date, 421 Russian aircraft and 340 helicopters have been shot down. At sea, 28 ships and boats and 1 submarine have been neutralized. Since early morning, the Russians have been shelling the Kherson region. They shelled the village of Molodizne with artillery. A residential building was hit. A 16-year-old boy sustained blast injuries. He was hospitalized. And the night before, they also struck Burhunka with artillery. A local resident was killed there. 4 more people were killed by enemy shelling in Chornobaivka, Novoraisk, and Komishani. 6 residents were wounded. Among them were 3 police officers who were trying to evacuate the injured. The Russians also hit an ambulance. In Sumy region, as a result of a missile strike on the Seradina Buda community, a 7-year-old girl was wounded. She was hospitalized. Her condition is stable. Another victim received medical assistance at the scene. In another village, there are casualties as a result of an FPV drone strike. In the Yunakivka community, a Russian FPV drone attacked a civilian car. 3 women and a man were injured. In the Kharkiv region, the village of Kivsharivka came under shelling. A local resident sustained blast injuries and died in the ambulance. The enemy also attacked the city of Kupiansk with drones. A 72-year-old woman was injured. In the village of Malyeburluk, a drone strike damaged the local community center. And in the Kharkiv district, private houses were destroyed. A 44-year-old woman was injured in the Dnipropetrovsk region. The occupiers shelled the Nikopol district with artillery and attacked with FPV drones. A house was badly damaged, and in the Sinelnikivsky district, they struck with guided aerial bombs, KABs. A private house and a car caught fire, and 2 more homes were destroyed. The Russians continued to terrorize civilians in Zaporizhzhia. Yesterday, they shelled 14 towns and villages. Nearly 40 private houses, apartments, and cars were destroyed. There were no casualties. About 50 drones and a couple of S-300 missiles, 400 in total, were launched by Russia at Ukraine last night. There were hits. The eastern regions endured another restless night. Today, the enemy attacked with 2 S-300 surface-to-air guided missiles, as well as launched 45 Shahed drones and decoy drones. They targeted the frontline areas of Donetsk and Chernihiv regions with them. Meanwhile, missiles were used to strike the Sumy region. There were 21 UAV impacts recorded at 12 locations. Another 24 enemy drones were neutralized or suppressed by air defense forces.